But the president's political future may now hinge less on the ANC and more whether the DA is prepared to keep backing a government of national unity led by the president. The DA says it will not protect Ramaphosa for political convenience, insisting that the constitution must come before any coalition loyalty. Geordin Hill-Lewis is the federal leader of the Democratic Alliance. Good morning, Geordin. You've said the DA
Good morning,
won't
Lester.
shield the president from any wrongdoing. Does that mean the DA is now open to supporting Ramaphosa's removal if the evidence points that way?
Yes, if the evidence points that way, of course. The alternative would be that we would sweep wrongdoing under the carpet just because it's politically convenient to ensure the survival of this government. That would be completely unacceptable. There are things that we are trying to establish in South Africa that are much bigger than any one government or one president. The principle of accountability and the rule of law and ethical government, those things are timeless and much more important than any one government. So we must stand up for those things because that is what will ensure the future success of our country.
What about a Section 102 motion, that motion of no confidence? Would the DA support at least a debate and a vote if one came before Parliament?
Well, I don't think that you have a choice. If someone tables the motion, it has to be debated. So the choice is how you vote for it or against it. And it would have to be properly motivated. I think at the moment, the court has ruled that the impeachment committee must be set up and it must thoroughly investigate the Phala Phala matter. So it feels a little bit like the motion now preempts the work of that committee because on what other basis is it being tabled? So I suspect what MK is trying to do is trying to force Ramaphosa out of office so that they can get a president that is much more aligned to them. So I would have to see the motion. I'd have to see what justification is offered for the motion, and then take it from there. But at the moment, I think the focus should be on the impeachment committee.
You spoke in your statement last week and in your public interviews. You spoke about last week's judgment setting a precedent for future presidents. Does this moment fundamentally change how Parliament holds presidents accountable? Would you call for the president to come to Parliament, which would be precedent setting, and be held accountable by MPs?
Yes, there's no doubt in my mind that he would have to appear and explain this saga from beginning to end. It is very unusual, despite what the Reserve Bank and so on have said. It is extremely unusual for any person to have an enormous amount of foreign currency under a couch cushion. So that, I believe, deserves a thorough and full explanation and interrogation. So I think he would absolutely have to come and subject himself to do that, and take Parliament and the country into his confidence.
If say Cyril Ramaphosa resigns, as he has indicated, according to many reports, that he would be willing to do. If Cyril Ramaphosa resigns, will the DA support the Deputy President, Paul Mashatile, as a consensus GNU president?
Well, I'm not sure there would be consensus on that name at all. But I'd prefer to not get into hypotheticals. Let's go through the impeachment commission. Let's investigate it thoroughly. But the firm point that I was making is that we have to stand up for re-establishing basic accountability in our country. And so there can be no question of trying to shield any person in a position of power from accountability just because of political convenience. That cannot be a consideration at all.
Geordin Hill-Lewis, DA Federal Leader, really appreciate your time.